The man in the third row stood at the wrong moment. Your hand moved before your brain did. He sat back down. He had dropped his phone. 40 people around you saw your hand move. None of them understood what they saw. That night, your wife asked how your day was. You said fine. She asked what fine means. You had no answer she could use. You had been doing this long enough that you no longer noticed the moment it stopped being a job and started being the only thing you knew how to be. By the time you reach the final level of this story, the question is not what you became. It is what you traded to get there, and whether you can still name it. Level 1, the candidate. You are 23 years old, sitting in a federal building in Washington, D.C., holding a folder with your ID and a printed confirmation number. The form in your lap is called an SF-86. It runs 127 pages. You fill in every address you have lived at since age 18, every foreign contact, every debt over $150. Investigators knock on the doors of people you have not spoken to in 6 years. A polygraph examiner asks you the same 4 questions in different orders for 2 hours straight. You pass the physical fitness test, 1.5 miles in under 11 minutes, 30 push-ups, 30 sit-ups. You pass the written exam, the medical, then you wait. 14 months, total. 3 weeks before your start date, an investigator calls and asks about a parking ticket from 4 years ago you did not disclose. You explain it was an oversight. He does not say whether that is acceptable. He thanks you and hangs up. You get the job. The ticket was fine. But you understood, for the first time, that this organization would know things about you that you had forgotten about yourself. Level 2, the trainee. Rowley Training Center, Beltsville, Maryland. 19 weeks, you wake at 5:30, you run 3 miles, you qualify on the Sig Sauer P229, firing 600 rounds over 5 days until the groupings tighten. You study protective formations, motorcade procedures, advanced work protocols, field medicine. Instructors run scenarios at 2 in the morning. A simulated gunshot goes off. You have 4 seconds. Cover, move, evacuate. 4 seconds every time until the sequence lives in your body and not your head. On week 11, during a live fire exercise, your hand shakes slightly on the draw. Once, your instructor says nothing, but you notice him watching you the rest of the day. That night you stay 2 hours after everyone else and fire another 200 rounds until the shake does not come back. You graduate. Your name appears on no record that civilians will ever see. That is by design. Level 3, the uniform. Your first 18 months, you stand a post. Uniform division, one of the checkpoints on the White House complex perimeter. Shift starts at 6 a.m. You check credentials. You verify access lists. You watch the magnetometer screen. You log every vehicle through your gate. On most days, nothing happens. On some days, a tourist gets too close to a fence and you move them back. You earn $62,000 a year. Rotating shifts, days into nights into days, and your body adjusts after 4 months and then stops adjusting entirely. One evening, a man in a gray coat approaches the fence on Pennsylvania Avenue and stands there for 11 minutes without moving. You radio it in. 3 other officers arrive. The man turns and walks away. The report takes 40 minutes to write. Your supervisor reads it and says, "Good call, that is all." Your college roommate texts on a Friday. His wedding is in 6 weeks, Phoenix. Can you make it? You check your rotation schedule. You are on shift that weekend. You send a card. The next level is where most agents spend the bulk of their careers. What it actually looks like from the inside is not what the badge suggested. If this is landing for you, hit subscribe, and you will never miss one of these. Level 4, the agent. You transfer to a field office, Miami or Chicago or Seattle. Your first 3 years go to financial crimes and fraud investigations before you rotate onto protection. On a detail, you run the advance. You arrive in the city 48 hours before the protectee. You walk every route. You meet local law enforcement. You locate every hospital within 6 minutes of the venue. During the event itself, you stand your post facing the crowd while everyone else faces the stage. Your eyes move in a pattern: sector left, sector right, hands, faces, anything that does not fit. At a fundraiser in Chicago, a man in the third row stands at the wrong moment. Your hand moves before your brain does. The man sits back down. He had dropped his phone. 40 people around him saw your hand move. None of them understood what they saw. Your wife asks at dinner how your day was. You say fine. She asks what fine means. You do not have an answer that she can use. Level 5. The supervisor. 12 years in. You manage 11 agents across 2 protective assignments. Every morning you read the threat assessment, 40 to 60 pages of intelligence summaries, suspicious contacts, social media intercepts, letters forwarded from the White House mailroom. You build the shift schedules. You run the pre-advance briefings. When something goes wrong, the phone rings and it is your name on the report. One of your agents misses a secondary screening step on a venue sweep. Nothing happens. The event runs clean. But you find the gap in the after-action report at 11 at night, and you sit at your kitchen table for a long time before you write the correction memo. Long enough that the house goes fully still around you. Your daughter, 8 years old, tells her teacher her dad works in an office. That is all she knows. That is all she can know. Most people who follow this career assume that climbing higher means more control. It does not. It means more exposure to how much is outside your control. Level 6, the director. You are the 19th director of the United States Secret Service. Your name appears in news articles. That part is new. You manage 7,800 employees across 130 field offices, domestic and international. You testify before Congress twice a year. Every decision about budget, staffing, and mission priority moves through your office. When an incident happens anywhere in the world involving a protectee, your phone lights up within 4 minutes. You eat lunch at your desk. The coffee is the same coffee it has always been. The mug is different. A senator asks you in an open hearing whether the agency failed on a specific date. The cameras are running. You answer carefully. Afterward, in the hallway, a junior agent who has been with the service 2 years stops you. He says, "Sir, we all know you did what you could." You nod. You walk to the elevator. The doors close. You drive home that night, and the route is familiar, and the house is familiar, and you stand in the kitchen and the refrigerator hums, and outside a dog barks 2 streets over, and you stand there a moment longer than necessary before you remember what you came in for. Right now, somewhere in a federal building, a 22-year-old is sitting in a waiting room, folder on their lap, ID ready, posture straight, going over the SF-86 answers one more time in their head. They do not know what is coming. They know what they want to become. Those are not the same thing. The chair does not stay empty for long. If you made it to the end of this one, you already know what this channel is. Subscribe, and the next one is already waiting for you.